Cerar'i will give us a short overview about the meeting, and there will be a little opportunity for your questions after the statements. Please now I give the word to the Estonian Prime Minister.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me to host a colleague and a good friend, Slovenian Prime Minister Dr. Miro Cerar'i here in the Stenbocki house. Today we discussed mainly two things. One bunch of topics we discussed, of course, is linked to our bilateral relations, which definitely are good, but we've also great potential for more business relations, for more trade. We do know that trade is something that is making both partners more prosperous, and thus is something that should be clearly advocated and supported also by the governments. And we discussed also the bilateral cooperation in the field of exchanging experiences, for example, using digital services. Prime Minister Cerar'i was already earlier today in this e-Estonia showroom, and we discussed those issues as well, how digital services could actually affect the turnout of services provided by the public sector, and not only the public sector, of course. So in addition to that, second group of topics we covered was definitely linked to international topics such as security, such as our cooperation in EU level. Even though you are visiting us here for the first time as a Prime Minister, but we have been meeting each other for a number of times, and of course most of the times we meet in Brussels in the format of EU Council. There will be EU Council coming up on 12th of February, and lots of important topics on the table, including of course how we see the security situation, the aggression that has escalated, I'm sorry to say, has escalated in Ukraine, and of course many topics, many more topics, including the political situation, the future of structural reforms, and so on. And in terms of both bilateral interest and European cooperation, one thing that is linking us, hopefully in the future, is a railroad. As all Estonians know, that our strategic goal is to build a rail-Baltic connection to Western Europe. Slovenians are having a similar project and building or having an aim to build a connection all the way from Slovenia, from the port to also center of Europe. So those railway branches will definitely connect, and this will make it possible in the future to have clear trade corridors from the Baltic Sea to the Mediterranean, and between our countries in both ends of those railways. So I think this is a thing that connects our two countries in the future, hopefully. So once more, thank you for visiting us. It's a pleasure to host you here, and of course our meetings and discussions will still continue tomorrow.
Thank you very much. I am very grateful to the Prime Minister Taavi for his very warm welcome. Before we met, we visited your showroom, where I learned how to become an e-Estonian, and this is a very good experience, which I will try to promote in Slovenia, of course, to promote the project How to Become an E-Slovenian. And for this reason I will send my Minister for Administration very soon to your country. The visit has been scheduled to March this year, and he will try to gain as much information and experience in the e-government, e-elections and everything connected with this progress which you made in the past years, and which have really shown amazing results, I believe, important for democracy and for the development of the country. As your Prime Minister said, we have already met several times at the meeting of the European Council. I learned that the Prime Minister is a very resolute and good leader, I must say. And of course, I support him and your country to make further progress in all aspects. And that also, I hope, includes Slovenia, because our political relationship is very good, I would say excellent, but we still have some space in terms of our economic relations, and I believe that we can really expand our economic ties, our businesses, and of course find some other points of cooperation, including those in the energetic field, also those regarding transportation. I also find this project of modernizing Slovenian railway, which would connect our port Koper at the north of the Adriatic Sea with the broader region, with Middle Europe and Northern Europe, as a very important project, very significant one also for the Europe as a whole. And I'm very glad to hear that our two projects can connect in a way that was explained by the Prime Minister. And of course, as it has been said, we discussed briefly some international and other issues. Our standpoint regarding Ukraine crisis is the same. We believe that the international law and the humanitarian law has to be fully respected. So the European Union must stick together, all the countries must support the sanctions and further negotiate things with all parties which are involved in this difficult situation in order to find a political solution for the conflict. Slovenia is very much in favor of all kinds of finding a political solution for the conflict, and we will support all the endeavors of the European Council, of the Commission, of the European Union as a whole, in order to provide this final goal. So that would be basically.
Thank you.
Thank you for the overview. Now, do you have any questions?
Kohtumist Bloomberg News. Two questions to both Prime Ministers. How confident are you that the quantitative easing that the central banks will launch next month will actually help Europe to avoid the deflationary spiral? And the second thing, what do you think about the austerity as a general approach to economic policies in Europe? I mean, what's the outlook for that?
Well, yeah, if I start, well, first of all, as I have told previously, I tried to avoid commenting the steps of the central banks, as central banks are dependent and they have their own mandate to do that. What's on the hands of the governments, including Estonian government, is to stick to fiscal discipline, to look where you have room for additional structural reforms. This is something that has to be continuous, and this is not something that can be fully, let's say, fully replaced by quantitative easing or any other way of money inflow. So I think these steps by the ECB should not get our governments, any of our governments in the European Union, attention shifting away from what has to be done in terms of getting your budget in balance, keeping the reforms ongoing, and you know, most of this we are not doing for Brussels criteria. We are doing it for our own countries, and children whom we don't want to inherit huge debt burden.
I hope that this quantitative easing will have some good impact on the European economy, especially investments. But of course, I agree with the Prime Minister that each and every member country must take its own measure to consolidate its own finance, to provide for necessary structural reforms, and that's basically what we are doing right now in Slovenia. We are still trying to reduce our budget deficit, to reduce our public debt, to provide for fiscal consolidation in the long term, and of course to provide for necessary structural reforms. And this is very important, not just for Slovenia, but for every country, because as it was said, I also believe that it is our responsibility towards the next generations.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
No
now
more questions? Thank you very much.